It's really great. I mean, I really loved it the first time, but the first time that you go to an orchestra, you don't know what to expect. So the first 2 days are always a bit like, oh, are they going to be nice to me? Am I going to do good work? And of course it was great last time. So of course this time you can start already from this level, which you built up last time. And the orchestra actually seems even more happy to do good work and very relaxed and very happy. And there's some new people, some new young people in the orchestra, I think. And I think it's sounding really great and it's really wonderful to come back. Yeah, I would think so. Yeah. All orchestras have phases, when the older colleagues leave and the new people arrive, and it seems that the orchestra is in a really good phase of developing and playing together and playing chamber music and watching and listening, and it's a very nice atmosphere. I love Mexican food. I love Mexican food and drinks.
Favorite ones?
Margarita. Tequila, mezcal, and cerveza.
And cerveza?
Yeah.
Do you like Mexican beer?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And dishes?
Food, well, I have a tiny problem because I don't eat meat.
Okay.
I do eat fish, which is okay, but I don't eat meat. So I can't eat everything, unfortunately. I can't try everything, but I love all this stuff like enchiladas and...
yeah, because you can have sopes and quesadillas that is totally vegan.
Yeah. And completely, and chilaquiles and everything that is in this style with the beans and the cheese and everything. I love it.
They're so delicious.
Interesting question. It's a good question whether you use one or not, because some people don't, and you can be very expressive with your hands without. And I've asked colleagues in the orchestra, what do they prefer? When I was playing in orchestras, I preferred a baton, because the conductor to have a baton, because you can be very exact. And when you're far away in the orchestra, it's much easier to see if the conductor has a baton. That's just a kind of pragmatic reason, but of course it's like a symbol of the conductor as well. So, everyone has an instrument, and so why should the conductor not have an instrument? I mean, their instrument is, of course, the orchestra as well, but the baton came from the violin bow or something. Sometimes it's quite nice to be very clear and to have this symbol of being a conductor. I think it's those two things.
And as a symbol, what does it mean to you?
It doesn't mean anything bad.
No?
No. It just means something to be clear, something to show that we're all in this together, but maybe if someone has to decide something, then it's going to be me, hopefully, in discussion with everyone else. It's a bit like a magic wand, Harry Potter style, Sometimes you can do magical things with it, with certain movements, and then suddenly this amazing music comes out of the orchestra. I don't think it's always so necessary. If people who are conducting a chorus, a choir, they never use one. They always have do these kind of things. But for me, with the technique of being a conductor, is also having this and having an extension of your arm. It's also, it connects you with the orchestra as well. And with this hand, you can be expressive, and this hand, you can be very exact.
So in a figurative language, it doesn't mean like discipline or, how can I say it, to be like this leader?
Yeah, no, it doesn't mean that for me.
Nothing.
No, it doesn't mean that at all for me, because of course you don't have to be a leader if you're conducting.
Yeah.
And most musicians really want that, and I wanted that when I was playing. Someone has to make decision. If there's 100 people, you can't say, well, I want to do that, and I want to do that, and I want to. It's there has to be someone, but hopefully it's slightly democratic, and we can find a compromise. If someone has a solo in the woodwind or something, they should play what they want. I'm not going to tell them how to play. But in the best case, we're all playing chamber music together. So for me, it's not something like a whip.
No,
it's not like that. It's just a
magic stick.
It's a magic stick. I think that's a really good thing. It's a magic stick to make miracles happen.
Oh.
Well, I mean, it's really changing at the moment. Like 10 years ago, there was really not very many at all. 5 years ago there was more. 2 years ago now, there were even less. But now, if you look in every orchestra, they have a lot of female conductors, which is good. But it needs to be. People also need to be careful because they also need to be good. We can't just say, "Oh, we're going to have a female conductor because she's a female conductor." It's like that with other jobs as well. It has to be based on the quality of the work. And of course, it's great that we get lots more female conductors and female composers. And it's time. It's really time, and it is changing. It's really ironic that on the Women's Day, I lose one rehearsal. So I have to do more work in less time than everyone else, But I think if we have a Women's Day, we need to have a Men's Day.
Yeah.
Then we would be equal.
That has to be equal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where the concerto itself is by Johannes Brahms for violin and cello. I have two really great soloists, and this is a really beautiful piece, and it's not played so often because it's also difficult to find two great soloists. And there's also a very important part for the orchestra. It's really like a symphony. The orchestra is not accompanying. The soloists are really part of the orchestra. Of course, you can hear them, always, I hope. But it's really exciting for the orchestra to play. It's a very dramatic piece. The second movement is absolutely beautiful. I was saying today, it's just like a song. I was trying to say, everyone, just imagine you're singing just a beautiful song, just for yourself. It's quite introverted, and it's really beautiful. And the third movement has a lot of the Hungarian style of folk music influence, which Brahms really liked, put in lots of his music. So it's really quite fiery. It's got lots of energy, and it's got lots of different characters that all come through in that piece. And it's really interesting in the combination with the two other pieces that we have in the program, which is the First Symphony by Robert Schumann, who was a friend and a supporter of Brahms. And as I said before, also there's one female composer in this concert, which is Helen Grime, who wrote the first piece, which is Würger. But there's also another female composer who is like a shadow in this concert, which is Clara Schumann, because she was the wife of Robert Schumann, and she was the person that supported him and encouraged him to write symphonies, because he only wrote music for small ensembles, for piano, more or less, songs. So she encouraged him. She was a composer herself, but she had to stop composing because she was a woman. She was still a concert pianist, which is also very unusual in those times. And she was also a very good friend of Brahms. And actually, even for this Brahms double concerto, it's a long story, but they actually, before the first performance, they rehearsed in the house of Clara Schumann.
Okay.
For this piece. So it really mixes together the Brahms, the Schumann, the female composer, and the Helen Grime, the female composer, which I was very happy about the program, because it looks like the Helen Grime piece really doesn't fit so much with the other two pieces. It looks like, we must have a female composer, but actually I see there's like two female composers in this, and the piece by Helen Grime is a really interesting piece. It's great to start off with this. It's a really sparkling, brilliant piece. It's like a picture. It's like really like a photograph of a scene of nature, of raindrops in the air sparkling just before sunset, and the way she uses the orchestra to paint this picture is really, really interesting. It's very, very short, only 5-6 minutes, but she makes the orchestra sound like of course it sounds like an orchestra, but she uses the instruments in so many different ways and combinations that we could hear completely new sounds from the orchestra. It's a really interesting piece.
Okay, thank you.